Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So, I'm going to wait a little bit so we get everybody in here. Because on the Blue Channel last night, they gave me a strike, or a copyright strike. So, we got to build this channel up now. But Ray did a good job of putting all the links in every video, so everybody should be able to find me. Nice sunny here, 60 here today. Oh, good. Lucy, you got the notification okay, huh? Yeah, they gave me a strike on the. I want to save the Blue channel now, so we'll go on to another channel. We only got not. We don't even got like 80 on 70. So half the people on the Blue hasn't been on the Orange yet. So we'll wait a bit before we start, so we get everybody in here. But big lineup, lots and lots. I hope I can make it through. There's so much going on. They said everything's going to come out at once. Now Schumer's in the news now. Something about he's going to stop his tour on his book or something, and because of security reasons. Oh, Lucy, I guess they agreed on that ceasefire for 30 days, and right now Ukraine Zelensky is talking about it right now. Hey, Meryl, happy Tuesday. Yeah, they gave me a strike on the Blue channel yesterday. So I'm glad, well, you only got 70 subs on this channel, so hopefully everybody can find me, raise and put it in every video. Hey, Raven. I gave the link to or I screenshot to Kay. I don't know if Kay has this one or not. I think she does. There's Kay.
A study of one point.
Yep. We'll wait till right at 4 o'clock to start. We're on a little bit early. Get everybody in here. Thanks, Kay. Everybody, yep. Yeah, 'cause they got me again last night, so hopefully our regular people that come gets in here. Still missing the regulars. Nice and sunny here finally. It's about 60K warm. Chico, Chico's having laying out in the sun, aren't you? Aren't you? Huh? You don't have to get up. You gonna say hi to everybody? Huh? Huh? Come on. Come up here. Go eat your ice cubes. Go eat your ice cubes. What? I'm ready to start, okay? Go take your nap. You're saying hi. You gonna come up and say hi? Come on. Get up here. Get up here. Come on. I gotta bribe you now. Come on. Get up here. Treat. Treat, treat, treat. Come on. Get up here. Yep. Still got it, Raisin. Woo. Come on. Right there. Uh-oh. Come on. Will you get up here? Jump up here for a minute. Come on. Before we start. Ooh. Come on. Mmm. Mmm. Come on. Come up here. Get up here for a minute. Come on. Get up here. Right here. Come on. Hey. Get up here. Come on. We got a few minutes before we start. Come on. Oh. Get up here. All right. There's the baby. There's the baby. You gonna say hi? Huh? Huh? You gonna be good today? No? Okay. What's in the news today, buddy? What's in the news, bud? You gotta speak. What's in the news? Come on, do your job. You gonna do your job? You gonna lay there, huh? Laying on the chair. Hey, what are you looking at? Huh? Where you going? Huh? I wonder what happened to Island Girl this past week and a half, 2 weeks. Oh, don't start. You don't start. Put you in timeout. Huh? Okay, yep. All right. I guess this is all we're going to get for the first show we haven't had on this. We only had, this will be the third show, but I wish everybody would have subbed to this channel. This reason put it in every video, so they should be able to find us. Okay, where do we start? I guess we'll start one by one. Yeah, it's already open. Yep. I thought this was a good photo shot here, you guys. I don't know what they got in store for us. This happened either last night or this morning. What is going on here?
This break and everybody's talking about this right now. Guess they're showing clips from the scene. So they're saying at least 12 people, including popular musician, died Monday when a small plane crashed into the Caribbean Sea quickly after taking off from the Honduran island of Roatan. Officials and local media said the Lancia Airlines plane departed at night from Roatan, one of the Central American country's main tourist destinations, headed for port of La Ceiba on the Honduran mainland. The aircraft made a sharp turn to the right of the runway and fell into the water. The plane almost fell on us. I was fishing. There was a fisherman who gave an account of what happened, whose name was not given, told HCH television. The fire department said 12 people were killed in the crash while 5 others were rescued. Dramatic video was posted on social media. I'm going to see if I can pull up some more videos. There's another video, short clips of some of the rescue. This is over the Caribbeans near Honduras. You've been to Raton? Raton, yeah? Wow. All these planes, man, all these issues happening. So Martinez, the musician, Honduran musician Aurelio Martinez is a popular member of the Garifuna music scene, was among the dead. According to Kennedy Central, Martinez was founded in the Lita Arenan Ensemble, one of the first Garifuna groups to be featured on an internationally distributed album. Martinez's virtuosic musicianship and passionate performances made him a mainstay at the La Ceiba music scene, where he was best loved for his take on Punta Rock, the high-energy Garifuna roots-infused pop genre that took Central America by storm in the 1990s, according to Kennedy Center.
Harry, just getting started.
Among the injured passengers was 40-year-old French citizen who was being transferred to a hospital in the city of San Pedro Sula on the mainland. Major Wilmer Guerrero of the fire department said 15 passengers were on board, along with 2 pilots and a flight attendant. I really wonder if those flight attendants made it alive. 15 passengers. How big was the plane? I'm going to try to find out. I'm going to try to find out what kind of plane this was. Let me check here what they're saying online. I can't do it with these planes, man. I can't do it. There was a plane story last night as well where here in, I think it was New York, LaGuardia, where the plane's wing had touched the runway or something. They had to go for another, like a runaround. Crazy. Wow. Yeah, 12 dead in Honduras plane crash off a Raton.
Yeah, everybody, I got a copyright strike yesterday on the Blue Channel. That's why we had to build this one up. The next channel already.
And you're trying to base your perception and your feel good off of people that you feel like you associate with. And I'm always telling people, hey, quit playing good cop, bad cop. Don't do that. This is a special operation. It's a global operation. It's a monster complex operation. All right. So you have to be able to comprehend military first. Now, there's a lot of veterans that don't know what's going on right now. Not because their job in the military they didn't take, seriously or anything of that nature. No, it's because they haven't read legislation, and then also how war is declared. All right, Congress is not the only one who can declare war now, thanks to the War Powers Resolution Act of 1973. So if you got a problem with that, then you need to take a time travel back to 73 and talk to Congress back then because it was bipartisan passed back then. All right, so that's why when President Trump says if they're going to investigate me, they got to investigate every president before me immediately. All right, because what's happening right now, the only thing that matters is current legislation. Current bipartisan legislation shows that we are currently under a military occupancy via the Law of War Manual and a continuity of operations plans, which they call a continuity of government in old school terms, where all 3 branches of government are under a continuity of government with a presidential policy directive called a PPD-40. All right. Well, when that happens, that means the military is in control via military occupancy. There's 2 powers in the U.S. And you don't have to like that, but The War Powers Resolution Act was amended December the 20th, 2019, and it clearly shows in Section 1550 in the executive documents below that for the fiscal year 2020, there's a 2021 memorandum in there, which makes no accounting sense whatsoever. But there's a memorandum in that executive document under Section 1550 that shows Joe Biden, quote unquote, who is a Commonwealth Act number 671, World War II history repeat. He's an actor, all right? He's just the president of the federal corporation.
Hey,
Donald John Trump is the commander-in-chief of the 50 states, the republic, and the military.
Copyright strike on the Blue
in
Channel.
Section 1550, that memorandum tells you specifically, it's Joe Biden saying, I hereby delegate the authority and functions vested in the president of Section 1550 to the Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense is directly under the Commander-in-Chief. All right? So there's only one Commander-in-Chief. If Joe Biden is saying, hey, I delegate the authority, well, authority has an author. I delegate the authority to the author of Section 1550 to the Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense is under the Commander-in-Chief. So the Secretary of Defense is listening to the orders of Donald John Trump. All right. And in that first 180-day clause in that 1550, Donald Trump became a wartime president by definition when he federalized 1 million reserve components to active duty. The only person who can federalize the National Guard, the reserve components to active duty, is the President of the United States. That's 10 U.S. Code 12302, 12304, and 12406. The same Title 10 that all of us veterans raised our right hand under, 10 U.S. Code Section 502. All right, you can't have one without the other. Donald Trump became a wartime president on March 27th when he federalized 1 million of those. All right. He also put it in a federal order, Executive Order 13912. Well, you go over to 10 U.S. Code 12302. Guess what the last amended section of it is? Executive Order 13912. None of this has been terminated, ladies and gentlemen. It's a controlled operation for a reason. It was going to be drug out for a reason. So here's the other thing that's a new way to look at it for all those who've been following me for a while, is this. Why would you put Donald John Trump in immediately following his first visual presidency? In order to clean out the deep state and the swamp, you play a game of chess, as Q calls it, right? So you put him in as a visual president, you change all the legislation, bipartisan legislation that fits all of us as a whole, because President Trump tells you all the time, everyone will be happy. Even haters and trolls don't realize what we're doing is going to make their life great. So you put him in as a visual, all right, and all the legislation that Joe Biden is operating under is all Donald Trump stuff, like the Defense Production Act. Clear example, the Defense Production Act. If you went to Google right now and typed in the DPA, it would tell you on Wikipedia that Joe Biden has invoked that 8 times.
In a while.
Right? If you go to the actual 50 U.S. Code, Chapter 55, which is the Defense Production Act, his name's only in there 2 times. One of those is an act that Donald John Trump passed and signed, all right? And then also the baby formula, which the Secretary of Defense approved that mission. It's all over the news. You can find that. When that happened, the Secretary of Defense approved that mission. Biden was nowhere to be found for that. Okay, so what also answers that? Guess when that was amended? March the 2nd. So 25 days before Donald John Trump federalized 1 million National Guard and reserve components active duty, on March 2nd, 2020, the Defense Production Act was amended and it was extended to September the 30th, 2025. So everything that Defense Production Act, everything it says Biden is invoking, it was already appropriated for. You can go read that in 50 U.S. Code, Chapter 55. It shows all the appropriations and how much money was set aside until September 30th, 2025. So what you do is you play this controlled operation, right? It's called devolution, which is defined in the federal continuity directives. So you keep everybody distracted because most Americans have been doing this every 4 years. It's quote unquote politics. While the military is going in from behind, they're cleaning up everything they can until they have to make it visual, right? So you put President Trump in for 4 years. You create all this legislation that's bipartisan legislation that's going to help everybody. Then you put in a puppet, right, who ain't doing anything but making people think he's doing something. All the legislation is doing everything on the back end while the devolution is taking place. Everybody's distracted here. Everything's still being cleaned out here. The operation was still going back here. The military occupancy, it was still going back here. Everything that I talk about still going on back here, right? It was still being cleaned out back here. Then you either reelect President Trump or you put in someone that he nominates when this all is cleaned out and revealed to the public. But either way, he gets 12 years, not 8. And that, my friends, is how you trump the deep state. And that is how you drain the swamp effectively and efficiently for the sake of everybody. Once again, don't forget the overall mission here. Donald John Trump is operating with the military. This was never about President Trump being president and the president. This was never about adding to his resume presidency. So you need to understand, don't lose the big picture here. Don't jump off the train yet. Donald John Trump and the military in complete control of this nation and the world. It's a special operation. It's a global operation. And all current bipartisan legislation proves so on .gov and .mil sites. And if there ain't nobody out there talking about .gov and .mil and they're not showing current bipartisan legislation that makes up this operation, which, hate to say it, but that's why I am known to you. It's because I have a blueprint that shows you the current bipartisan operation, the only things you need to know. All the other stuff, you can see all the other stuff once you learn that current bipartisan legislation. But you're never going to be able to see everything until you learn what's put into place that's controlling this operation. But also know that the military was never going to show you their missions now. Huge difference. President Trump said, never again we voice to the public what's going on with our military, because if you find out, guess who else finds out? So they were never going to tell you the missions. But this whole operation, as far as a 40,000 foot view and an aircraft looking down, it's all there. .gov, .mil sites, the law war manual, federal continuity directives. I lay it all out on all my pages. So be sure to come over to 1776 Nation. We now have 89,000 followers. So that's how you find the actual page. 89,000 followers, 1776 Nation. I did create a backup page just in case Facebook and their shenanigans. It's a Rattle Trap 1776 Nation, and it mirrors the last, probably 8 posts now. I mirror what I put over on 1776 Nation. TikTok did delete me, so I created a new TikTok. That's Rattle Trap 1776. No spaces, underscores, periods, dots, dashes, anything. I'm on Twitter, Rattle Trap 1776, same thing. I'm also on Rumble, same name, Rattle Trap 1776, and also on Telegram with Rattle Trap 1776. And I'm on True Social at Derek Johnson. So if you want to know what's going on, you got to block out all the noise, all the mainstream media, and read current and bipartisan legislation first, and then you'll be able to see the forest for the trees.
So that's the latest on Derek. Found him yesterday. Yeah, everybody likes Derek. He does good. Not sure if I played this. 5 minutes.
Things feel so off for so many right now. It's almost like you're slipping in and out of a different version of your life. You're feeling the ripple of this eclipse still echoing through your reality. And if you think this is just some energy shift, you're not seeing the full picture. Because something else is happening, and trust me, it's way bigger than you think. You're not crazy. That random pressure behind your head, the weird sensation in your palms, it's happening for a reason. Vale didn't just the eclipse. Something strange has been happening. More and more people are reporting this odd sensation, random pressure points activating in different parts of the body. Not pain, not soreness, just this steady pressure, like something is gently pushing from the inside out. It's happening in unexpected places, the back of the head, behind the knees, right in the center of the palms, and even between the shoulder blades. These aren't injuries. And they're not the usual aches you might get from stress or tension. It's different, subtle, but impossible to ignore. And here's where it gets interesting. Some traditions believe that these exact points are related to energy flow in the body. The palms, energy centers used in Reiki and ancient healing techniques. So what if the eclipse didn't just shift external energy, but also triggered something inside of you? You're feeling activations in places you didn't even know could activate. Now, am I saying this is 100% the eclipse? No. But is it a coincidence that so many people are reporting the same strange pressure points? That's for you to decide. The eclipse may be over, but its influence is only just beginning to unfold. The energy it left behind isn't fading. It's growing, expanding, twisting into something you can almost feel pressing against reality itself. You've probably already noticed it. The way time feels stretched, like the days are moving too fast and too slow at the same time. The way certain places feel different, as if their energy shifted overnight. Maybe you've even caught yourself in moments where nothing feels real for a split second, like you blinked and stepped into a slightly altered version of the world. That's because you did. This eclipse didn't just mark a change in the sky, it marked a shift in the timeline you're walking. You're stepping into a new version of your life, and everything that doesn't belong there, it's starting to fall away. The way people react to you might feel off. Some will pull closer, like they recognize something in you they can't explain. Others will distance themselves without warning, almost as if they're subconsciously aware you've outgrown the version of reality where they existed. Nothing is random right now, not the emotions rising to the surface, not the strange dreams, not the sense that something massive is about to reveal itself, because it is. The eclipse wasn't an event, it was a threshold, and you crossed it. This is the kind of energy that rearranges paths, rewrites destinies, and pulls hidden truths into the light. You're standing at the edge of something bigger than you can see right now. And whether you realize it or not, you're already moving toward it. There's no going back to the way things were. The world before the eclipse and the world after it are not the same. Maybe you felt it in your body, a restlessness, an electricity under your skin. Or maybe it's showing up in your mind, in the way old memories are resurfacing like echoes from another life. The shift isn't just external, it's happening inside you, a realignment, a recalibration. And if you've been feeling moments of clarity, brief but undeniable flashes of knowing, trust them. That's not your imagination. That's your higher self stepping forward. The voice you've been hearing in the back of your mind, it's louder now, more distinct, and it's not going to let you ignore it anymore. The eclipse sets something in motion, and it won't stop until everything misaligned with your path is stripped away.
Okay, I thought that was a interesting video.
The institutions, not individuals, who were part of this, because they're all dead, right? And there's still a ravenous appetite 70 years later, 60, 70 years later on this, on the JFK assassination.
Yep.
You said that you have your suspicions about who's behind it. Who's behind it?
Well, there's a lot of people that benefit. The mob, LBJ, others. I think it was a combination of some of those, and they got together on it. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's get this guy out of the way. He was talking disclosure. He was compromised himself. I mean, there's question. He had a bad back, so he was probably loaded up. He loved the ladies, and I'm sure he was compromised there. And I just think he was an asset to some wealthy elites until he wasn't. And that's a good lesson for everybody to learn in politics, because they will gut you like a hog as soon as they're done with you. And they were done with him. And I think he was close to dislodging the CIA. And so, there wasn't a cell phone back then. There wasn't, these people could get information and they could talk freely. They talked freely over telephones. And, I think there was a combination there, that there was a vacuum, and it allowed several people to be involved in that. You can't have, but anybody will tell you that. I mean, I haven't really just studied assassinations or talked to assassins, but I know enough snipers that will tell you that a crossfire is what you got to have. You got to have more than one shot. And one interesting thing at the Warren Commission, it was asked in the Warren Commission, they asked the top sniper at the time, could he have made that shot? And he said no. And it turned out he was it was an Olympian. I think he was from a Soviet bloc nation. And they threw that question out. There's just so many holes in this thing because you didn't have instantaneous information. And you'd have two reporters, and if they're on the take, it wouldn't take much to dislodge a story and just send you down the wrong path. And that's why, honestly, Benny, I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever know exactly until we meet our maker what the heck went on there, and several of those. And that's why I think it's important, get as much information about that kid that shot Trump as we can, because we will never know. We will not know who contacted that kid. Because remember, there was talk that he didn't have an internet presence, which is just unheard of. But then he did have accounts overseas, and there was all this other talk, and there was never any clarification of any of that. And you have to be careful, because the people that are against us, the American way, they will dislodge the truth by interjecting falsehoods, and then we go down those paths. So until you see it, I wouldn't trust it. If somebody tells you, I'd question it.
Really quickly here, before we get to here he is, Matthew Thomas Crooks on the phone. There he is.
Oh, it was only 3 minutes, you guys. That was the latest on Benny there. Next one's 15. Megan. Eleven minutes.
Some different coaches in America about getting the chance to get a full-ride scholarship and go over there to, experience the American way of doing things, getting the chance to get my education while continuing my athletic career.
Okay, so you decided to come over here to compete in track and field. That's your sport.
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you go to school?
I went to a school in Texas. At the time, it was called Texas A&M University Commerce.
Mm-hmm. And how is it going for you as an athlete?
At this point, I'm not competing at the same level anymore. I'm still practicing.
How was it when you went to Texas?
Oh, when I went to Texas, okay. It was going really well. I had a great experience until 2019 at the national championship. But other than that, me as an athlete, I developed and I did really good.
Okay, so you wind up going to the NCAA championships, right? Like, explain what happened there.
So in 2019, I qualified for the national championship in Division II. I was going to run the 400 hurdles. A few weeks prior to getting to the competition, I heard a lot of rumors going around that I would be competing against a male competitor. So, coming up to the competition, I was trying to focus on myself and making sure that I got ready for the meet. But yeah, showing up at the track competition, one of the competitors that qualified was a man. took a spot from one of the females that would have been able to be at the national championship. So that was a very shocking experience for me. It was not something that I expected.
When did you find out that this man, CC Tefler, posing as a woman, was going to be allowed to compete against you?
Personally, I found out just a few weeks prior to the actual competition.
There was nothing you could do.
I tried to focus on myself more, because I can't affect anyone else's results on the track. So I tried to focus on myself to make sure that I am ready for whenever I need to be. But I heard it from teammates and other people in the track community talking about it. So, yeah.
And was there anything you could have done, Mina? Did anybody say, well, you could challenge it? Or were they basically like, you're stuck with this, deal with it?
You're stuck with this, deal with it.
So how did that make you feel? Because you had to realize that, look at this person. And for the listening audience, it is very clearly a man with male size, with male musculature. And indeed, CC Tefler was running and competing in track and field as a man shortly prior to declaring himself a woman and running and competing against you.
Yes.
How close in time was it?
2 years prior, he competed as a man. Yeah.
And his stats were terrible, as I understand it. He was in the mid 300s in terms of where he ranked in track and field at that point as a man.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And then 2 years later, he won the national championship for women. Something that we've been fighting for years.
So he wins the national championship. Here he is running the hurdles. And he's way ahead of everybody. And I understand he won by some 2 seconds, which is, explain that to us, because that's like an eternity. That's the average viewer may be thinking 2 seconds. That's not, but that in track and field, that's an eternity.
Yeah, look at the video. We're not even in the picture when he's crossing the finish line and taking that moment away from, in this situation, me, but in other situations, any woman.
In that race that we just watched, are you the number 2 racer?
Yes, ma'am. That was the year I placed second at the national championship.
And what event was that?
400-meter hurdles.
Wow. So if he had not been allowed to race, that's you coming up behind him, you would have been the gold medal winner.
Yes, ma'am, I would have.
The first place finisher at the NCAA championships. So this person, it's really unbelievable. You've got to go and look at the video because you'll see that this is clearly a man. He's 6'2". He was born in Jamaica. Now he goes by CC. His real name is Craig. Now it's been changed. First competed without success in the men's division at Franklin Pierce University from 16 to 17, and was, again, middling at best. He had terrible numbers. He was in the mid 300s place there until he became suddenly, quote, a woman, and then took first in the 400-meter hurdles in June of 2019. Right like days later, basically, he decided he's a woman, and there he is. And so when you stood up there as a second place finisher, did you feel like you had to pretend this was fine? Like, what was going through your head there on the podium holding up your trophy?
I tried to pretend like everything was fine. I remember crossing the finish line and I started tearing up and I wiped it really quick to try to hide it from everybody else, because even though I knew a lot of people felt the same way I did, no one spoke up. No one dared to say anything. When we were at the meet, you could feel it in the air that something was different. In the speakers, they called out that we had to show sportsmanship and that we had to be inclusive. And that's something that I hadn't heard at a national championship for the NCAA prior to what was happening at this meet. I felt like I had to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I looked it up. He was 390th among the NCAA Division II men, 390th, and then suddenly declares himself a woman, and he's number 1, and really loving the joy of defeating all of the women, as though it's some sort of a feat for somebody who's been through male puberty and was running as a man 2 years earlier. It's just absurd. So what is it that you would like now? Because we've got the Trump executive order, which is great. The NCAA's interpretation of it and promise to comply with it is less great. You could drive a truck through the holes that they've left, but it's something, I guess. So what would you like to see now?
I want NCAA to give back what was ours. The females that lost their trophies, their recognition, their records, they need to get back whatever they deserved and take it from the men, because men have no place in women's sports. That is why we have 2 separate categories in sports, because we shouldn't mix that. And I also feel like it's really important that we actually make sure that this don't happen again, so that upcoming females don't have to deal with this issue, and they shouldn't have to go through this. Because when you're entering in this in the NCAA, when you're entering and competing there, you expect the NCAA to be there and protect you and support you, because that's what they're supposed to do. What would NCAA be without their athletes? So why wouldn't they want to make sure that we are safe and that we are protected and that we get what we deserve?
So, I mean, it's really amazing when you think about what they did to you. And like all women, I think you were told and probably raised to be nice, worry about this person's feelings. You know, there's such a small percentage. That's what they always say, Mina. Such a small percentage of the country is trans. And, you know, this is just such a niche issue when it comes to athletics, too. Like, you know, where's the harm? That's really what people like Megan Rapinoe, soccer player who's already made her millions, ask. What's the harm? And to that you say what?
It's everything that I fought for since I was 4 years old. I started track and field when I was 4 years old. I knew that I wanted to go somewhere with this. I knew that I wanted to become the best that I could. And that moment in 2019, I had worked for that moment for years, and it got taken away from me. And even though, yeah, you can get a trophy back, you can get the recognition now, but like the moment will be lost forever. So right. NCAA has done things to women that will never be able to be completely fixed. But that's why I feel like it's really important that people understand how severe this has been for women in sports.
You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is already sinking.
I don't know, everybody. She was right on that. I think all of whoever won, they need to return the trophies to the real winners. That girl and that other swimmer, and everything. Just terrible. Why men have to do that. They want to be number 1, so they turn into a girl. That's a joke. All right, next one's 4 minutes. Yep, back in. So this is It says, boom, harp's death grid is blasting America with energy pulses right now. The silent war has gone. The silent one has gone. Hot video. So I don't know what they're saying about that.
They started at 9:11 at night until 9:11 in the morning. You see the pulse going from the east to the west coast. All right, boom. You see that? Those are NexRad stations. Each of those towers are 750 kilowatts, pumping out between 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz in the microwave range. This is roughly the same frequency as your microwave oven, and it has the same cause and effect relationship. This was 12 hours long that they held this pulse while we slept. And look at all the other anomalies that are happening here on the screen. Look at what's going on in Texas. All right, you see that big blast? Looks like a giant laser, doesn't it?
I got a copyright strike on the Blue
Then it gets
channel.
obscured by the towers. Now they can add the Doppler towers with this. NexRad has like 159. Doppler has 160. Now you can consider the HARP stations. There's 33 of those, but they don't show up on this satellite. This covers the microwave range. This is a NexRad feed.
So that was interesting. I just came across this article here. Before we go to the next video. So this is saying judge finds Dodge shutdown of U.S. aid likely uncon. So what does that mean, you guys? On the bottom it says just coming on. Can someone explain what this is? I don't know what that means.
Last night, Trump decided that the pardons Joe Biden did his last day in office. or effect. I just find this so fascinating.
I'm not sure if I
no
played
matter
this
who is
yesterday.
right or wrong, I think this is going to be so interesting
2
to see
minutes.
play out. But I did some digging, so let's go through this. So Trump said that these pardons were signed by an auto pen. Auto pen is kind of like a digital signature, but not really. It's actually like a mechanical arm that writes the signature. This is actually super common to use. Even President Trump uses it. But here's the thing, when you have a president who is not mentally well, it just begs the question, did he actually know that people were using his signature, or was someone else using it? A lot of people are mistaking Trump for saying that, these pardons are void because of the auto pen, but that's not what Trump is saying. He is saying that Biden knew nothing about the pardons, that the necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. On Joe Biden's last day in office, he signed 7 pardons with this signature. I put them all side by side, and of course, they're the exact same signature. Here's another key thing that a lot of people are bringing up. It says right here that in the city of Washington, Joe Biden was not in DC for most of the time on January 19th when this was signed. It was actually in South Carolina for most of the day. So I started going through like all of his pardons, and they are definitely different per day. You can tell when all the pardons were signed on the same day, they're all the same. This one is July of 2024.
Just under 4
December
minutes.
of 2024. And this one is his very first pardon he signed. So again, just compare it to this one on his last day in office. Now, here's another really interesting thing that I found. I looked through a ton of his executive orders, and they are all the same no matter what day you look at. So this was his very first one, 2021. And this one is his last one, again, exactly the same. And this is a lot different than his one for pardoning people. Like, he just has a line for Joseph, where for his pardons, he actually spells out his full name. So here's kind of a side by side of the pardons and the executive orders. Now, the first thing that Trump said to the press is that this is going to be something that a court is going to have to figure out. So he is very well aware that this is going to be challenged, and probably is being challenged already. This is where it's really interesting. The Constitution just says that the president can do pardons. It doesn't say that they have to sign or anything. But this Supreme Court case says this: delivery of the pardon is essential, and delivery is not complete without acceptance. But there's nothing actually saying that the president has to sign a pardon. So I think that's going to be a big question for the courts to answer. But really, I think if Joe Biden came out and said, I knew about those pardons, I did it, I think it would actually put this to bed. But he hasn't. There's just another question that a lot of people have that a court is going to have to answer. A while back, Biden was being investigated for retaining classified documents after he was vice president. And the special counsel said he can't be charged because of his poor memory and he wouldn't look good to a jury. So a lot of people are wondering, if he wasn't fit to stand trial, was he mentally fit to be able to sign any contract? But until then, it looks like Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Fauci are not off the hook quite yet. Let me know your thoughts about this. Again, I just find this fascinating. Do you think that there is a case to void these pardons, or is it just done? Let me know your
Okay, talk about that autoplay there. So, gematria reason. See if you can figure this one out. Oh, I gotta go one piece at a time. They won't. There you go. What's this mean? Okay. So that was gematria there, you guys.
All by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, my the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
I think Whoopi's face said it all. Even the View started playing music and tried to cut to a commercial break because they didn't want their viewers to see that conversation. They did not want the world to see a prominent Democratic leader mocking the American people for not wanting to pay taxes and then continue on to say that the Democratic Party is going to do everything they can to protect the government. It is just crazy. But as always, I want to hear what you think about all of this.
Okay, talking about taxes there with Schumer. $64 raising.
Teens ranged in age from 2 to 17 when reported missing. 2 guys, a baby, and children that were kidnapped and trafficked. These children are now 6 to 21 years old when they were found. That is years of horror, abuse, terror of children in the hands of these sick monsters. The Albany Police Department closed 47 cases, Troy 11, and Schenectady.
Got a copyright strike on the blue, Mary, so
additionally, the Colony
build
Police
this one up.
Department located a 25-year-old missing vulnerable adult, contributing to the total number of individuals that were found. The operation concluded at 5 p.m. on Thursday, March 13th of 2025.
So most are fairly local, but within the state as far away as Buffalo, but within the country as far away as Florida.
This was all set up at a hotel in Latham, New York. Federal, state, and local law enforcement officials set up a command center where they're facilitating the Capital Region's first missing child rescue operation. Albany Police Chief had said that many of the children were runaways from group homes. We have a number of group homes that we have vulnerable children that are already placed there, that have been traumatized, that are trying to be worked with by those agencies, that wind up eloping and wind up on the streets, and they wind up victimized. Sometimes they're victimized in the city of Albany. Sometimes they're victimized as far as Florida and Buffalo. To put this clear for words for you guys, they were kidnapped and taken to these places to be trafficked. And a 2-year-old is not running away. It's not happening. Someone is kidnapping them. And I personally know someone that has been in one of these places, and they told me the horrific stories the other day of what goes on in there. They're not all rainbows and butterflies like everybody says. There is absolute atrocious things going on in these group homes. And they wonder why kids are trying to run away. But they end up in the hands of monsters anyway. It's really heartbreaking and disgusting. Guys, this is a stark reminder that these monsters are lurking everywhere. They could be at any playground, driving around, the grocery store, you name it, they're everywhere. Always stay aware.
I'm going to go to about 5:30, you guys.
Stay vigilant and stay safe. I will keep you updated on this because this is from the 518. This is actually where I'm from. So it's crazy to wake up to this news and know that these monsters are just like lurking so close by. And there was kids being held captive so close by. It's just, it makes you just want to cry. So stay vigilant and stay safe. Much love.
Talking about the rescue kids there, Albany. Okay, the next one might be good. Just let me know. I'll stop it. It's 20 minutes. .
today with a message that burns within my spirit, a message that has been whispered by the Holy Spirit, written in the stars, and foretold in the sacred pages of Scripture. The time is upon us, a moment long prophesied, a divine shift that will awaken the chosen ones, the 144,000, to their true calling. This is not just another season. This is the hour of activation, the hour of revelation, the hour when God's hand will move in ways that will leave the world in awe. As we approach the months of March and April, something extraordinary is about to unfold. A solar flash, a burst of divine light, will illuminate the heavens and the earth. But this is not merely a physical phenomenon. It is a spiritual awakening. Many of you, the chosen ones, will feel it deep within your souls. You may not fully understand it yet, but you sense it, the restlessness, the anticipation, the knowing that something monumental is on the horizon. This is the moment you have been prepared for. The Holy Spirit has been working in you, aligning your heart, mind, and spirit for this very hour. You are not here by accident. You are chosen, set apart, and destined for greatness in the kingdom of God. Affirm in the comments, I am chosen by God, and I am ready to receive His revelation. As we draw closer to this powerful time, we must pay attention to the signs God is revealing through His creation. The spring equinox is not just a celestial event, it is a divine alignment. On this day, the sun stands in perfect balance, and night and day are equal. Light and darkness meet, and for a moment, the scales are balanced. But then, something incredible happens. The light begins to dominate. The solar flash, the astral plane, the eclipse, these are not just astronomical phenomena. They are signs and wonders, divine signals that God is about to move in a mighty way. The Bible tells us in Psalm 19, verse 1, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands." And indeed, they do. The heavens are God's canvas, and He is about to paint a masterpiece that will leave the world in awe. But this is not just about what we will see with our physical eyes. It is about what will happen in the spiritual realm. The astral plane, the unseen world, is about to come alive with the power and presence of God. Affirm in the comments, the heavens declare your glory, Lord. Let us talk about the solar flash. This is not just a burst of light from the sun. It is a burst of divine light from the throne room of heaven. It is a flash of revelation, a flash of awakening, a flash of activation. Just as the sun rises each morning to dispel the darkness, so too will this solar flash dispel the spiritual darkness that has covered the earth. In the natural, a solar flash is a sudden, intense burst of energy from the sun. But in the spirit, it is a sudden, intense burst of energy from the Son of God, Jesus Christ. This flash will illuminate the hearts and minds of the chosen ones, revealing truths that have been hidden, activating gifts that have been dormant, and awakening a hunger for the things of God that cannot be satisfied by anything in this world. This is not just a light show, it is a life show. It is a divine intervention, a heavenly interruption, a holy invasion. The solar flash will be a wake-up call to the chosen ones, a reminder that they are not of this world, that they are citizens of heaven, and that their true home is with the Lord. How? Let us talk about the astral plane. This is the unseen realm, the spiritual dimension, where the battle between light and darkness is fought. It is a place of shadows and whispers, of angels and demons, of divine encounters and demonic attacks. But in March, something extraordinary will happen in the astral plane. The veil between the seen and the unseen will thin, and the chosen ones will begin to see and sense things that were once hidden. The astral plane is not a place to fear, it is a place to conquer. The enemy has used this realm to wage war against the saints, to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and confusion. But in March, the tables will turn. The chosen ones will begin to operate in the astral plane with authority and power, breaking strongholds, casting out demons, and releasing the light of God into the darkness. This is not just a shift in the natural, it is a shift in the supernatural. The chosen ones will begin to walk in a new level of spiritual authority, seeing visions, dreaming dreams, and hearing the voice of God with greater clarity. The astral plane will no longer be a place of fear. It will be a place of victory. So, how will all of this affect the chosen ones? It will activate them. It will awaken them. It will propel them into their divine destiny. The solar flash, the astral plane, the eclipse, the planetary alignment. All of these are signs that God is about to move in a mighty way, and the chosen ones will be at the forefront of this move. The chosen ones will begin to experience a new level of spiritual sensitivity. They will feel the presence of God in a way they never have before. They will hear His voice with greater clarity, see His hand in every situation, and feel His power flowing through them. The gifts of the Spirit, prophecy, healing, discernment, and more, will be activated in them, and they will begin to operate in these gifts with authority and power. This is not just a time of personal awakening, it is a time of corporate awakening. The chosen ones will come together, united in purpose and vision, to bring the light of God to a dark and dying world. They will be like a city set on a hill, shining brightly for all to see. Matthew 5:14.
11 minutes, guys, 11 minutes.
This is not just a shift in the natural, it is a shift in the supernatural. The chosen ones will begin to walk in a new level of spiritual authority, seeing visions, dreaming dreams, and hearing the voice of God with greater clarity. The astral plane will no longer be a place of fear. It will be a place of victory. Affirm in the comments, I walk in authority in the astral plane. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, for I am more than a conqueror in Christ Jesus. As we move deeper into March, we will also witness an eclipse, a celestial event where the moon passes between the earth and the sun, casting a shadow over the earth. But this is not just a shadow, it is a sign. It is a sign of divine alignment, a sign that God is aligning the heavens and the earth for His purposes. An eclipse is a moment of darkness, but it is also a moment of revelation. It is a moment when the sun, the moon, and the earth are in perfect alignment. And in that alignment, something extraordinary happens. The light of the sun is blocked, but only for a moment. And then the light returns, brighter and more glorious than ever.
Good boy.
This is a picture of what is happening in the Spirit. The enemy has tried to block the light of God, to cast a shadow over the earth, to keep humanity in darkness. But in March, the light will break through. The chosen ones will step into their divine alignment, and the light of God will shine brighter than ever before. Affirm in the comments, I am in divine alignment. The light of God shines in me, and no darkness can overcome it. This month, the planets will align in a way that is both rare and significant. Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn will all be visible in the night sky, each playing their part in a cosmic symphony that declares the glory of God. Mars, the red planet, symbolizes war and conflict. But in the spirit, it is a reminder that we are in a battle, not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. Ephesians 6:12. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, reminds us that we are loved by God and that His love is the most powerful force in the universe. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance, speaks of the blessings that are coming to the chosen ones. And Saturn, the planet of discipline and structure, reminds us that we must be disciplined in our walk with God, building our lives on the solid foundation of His Word. This cosmic symphony is not just a random alignment of planets. It is a divine orchestration. It is a reminder that God is in control, that He is the creator of the heavens and the earth, and that He is working all things together for the good of those who love Him. Romans 8:28. Have you noticed how, as this time approaches, the attacks on your life have increased? That is no coincidence. The enemy knows what is coming. He sees the shift in the spirit, and he is afraid. He has tried to keep you distracted, exhausted, doubtful, but God is saying, it is time. The equinox is not just a sign in the heavens. It is a sign of the shifting of power. This is not the first time God has shifted the course of humanity. Throughout history, He has moved through signs and wonders, calling His people out of darkness and into His marvelous light. 1 Peter 2:9. The flood in Noah's day was a reset. The exodus of Israel was a divine deliverance. And the resurrection of Jesus was the ultimate victory over sin and death. The Holy Spirit is the fire, the wind, the breath of God moving through His people. He is the one who reveals mysteries, who leads you into all truth. John 16:13. The closer we get to this great activation, the more His presence will become undeniable. This is why many of you have been under attack. The enemy sees what is happening and he is terrified. He has tried to exhaust you, to break you, to fill your mind with lies. But greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. 1 John 4:4. You are not weak. You are not defeated. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, sealed, and strengthened by the Spirit of God. My dear brothers and sisters, behold the hour of our great awakening. The clarion call of destiny beckons us to step forward into the radiant light of a new dawn. All creation is groaning in anticipation of this moment. Yes, the earth trembles beneath our feet. The skies align in cosmic symphony, and the mighty pulse of the solar flash quivers on the horizon. In this pivotal season, we stand on the threshold of profound transformation, hand in hand with the Almighty's purpose, ready to fulfill our sacred call. Let there be no doubt in your mind, you are destined for greatness. This is the appointed time for the chosen ones to shake off every chain, rise from every stumbling block, and ascend to the mountaintop of divine revelation. Like the phoenix reborn from the ashes, we are summoned to spread our wings of faith and soar into the endless expanse of God's goodness. Take heart and remember this unshakable truth. With God as our fortress and refuge, no storm can overwhelm us, no darkness can swallow our light. Do not think for one moment that you stand unprepared. Nay, the Almighty has already placed within you every gift and talent you need for this epical awakening. Like a seed bearing fruit in its season, your potential lies dormant, waiting for the warm light of divine favor to quicken it into life. The solar flash is not just an event. It is a clarion call to your spirit, a reminder that the glory of the Most High is about to burst forth in ways the world has never seen. Do not cower in fear when the winds of change begin to gust, for it is in the very face of adversity that our faith is strengthened. The enemy may rage, unleashing every fiery dart of doubt, but we are fortified by the shield of God's truth. We are armed with the sword of His word, equipped to strike down every lie that would seek to diminish our purpose. Brothers and sisters, gird yourselves with this holy armor and stand firm. Remember, those who are chosen are not chosen for mere spectacle or fleeting grandeur. Rather, you are chosen to be a radiant testimony of God's power. Hear me now. This holy activation is no idle affair. It demands from us a sacred commitment to consecrate our hearts, renew our minds, and lift our voices in praise. When you wake at dawn, let your prayers ring out like trumpets announcing a new kingdom. When the sun sets, let your worship ascend like incense before the throne. Let every breath you take be an anthem of expectation, a steady drumbeat echoing, God is moving, God is moving. Watch as the illusions of this world dissolve under the radiant brilliance of divine truth. See how worry, despair, and fear melt away, replaced by holy confidence and jubilant anticipation. The old ways of thinking cannot stand in the presence of this blazing revelation. They crumble like old walls battered by a fresh wind. This is the moment to step forward and claim every promise the Lord has spoken over your life. So I charge you today, chosen ones, rise up and take your place in the kingdom of God. Let your hearts be aflame with boldness, your tongues alive with testimonies of His faithfulness. Dare to believe that mountains will move, that seas will part, and that miracles will abound at the sound of your prayer. The door to your destiny stands wide open, inviting you to cross the threshold into a realm of supernatural breakthrough. Cast aside every doubt. Let your eyes be fixed on the one who makes all things possible. This is the season of activation. Your spirit aligned with the cosmic pulse, your soul awakened to the unstoppable force of divine love. Know beyond a shadow of a doubt, the solar flash heralds your rising, and no power on earth can hold back what God has ordained. Step boldly into your calling, for this is your moment to shine for the glory of God, now and for all eternity. Amen and amen.
Why is it that those who are chosen by God for a higher purpose often face the deepest battles? Have you ever wondered why?
Okay, I thought that was a good one. What do you guys think? So I'm going to go with the last one, 8 minutes. Be 8 minutes. So this is the new channel. So we're trying to build this one up. I might be on the blue one tomorrow. I don't know. See what happens. So yeah, we'll finish up this last one. Remember her? Did we play this already?
Had to begin with. How long has this been going on for? How has it been going on since before my parents were born? Like, this is.
I think that's an old one, wasn't it? With that girl. Thanks, Lucy. Because I remember her similar to that video. But I got did you guys hear about those 3 parts with Dolly Parton? It's like a 3-minute clip on each clip, so we'll finish with the 3 clips there. Thanks, Jacqueline. Yeah, I thought that was old. Okay, part 1. Yeah.
Rattle the entire music industry. Handwritten letters exchanged with some of history's most influential figures. And most crucially, a weathered black envelope, its contents so startling that even the FBI fell silent. Is Dolly Parton truly the icon the world has celebrated, or has she concealed something monumental, an untold truth powerful enough to reshape everything? No one could have foreseen that on a tranquil morning in Nashville, Dolly Parton's splendid mansion would become the epicenter of a stunning investigation. The first rays of dawn bathed the estate's ornate roof, a home where the country music legend had resided for decades. Inside, all seemed routine. Staff prepared breakfast, gentle melodies echoed through the halls, and the most commanding woman in country music likely savored a cozy morning. But in an instant, everything shifted. 8:32 a.m. A fleet of sleek black vehicles roared into the mansion's main driveway. FBI agents, clad in dark jackets emblazoned with bold golden letters, stepped out with stern expressions. The grand gates, typically welcoming to visitors, were swiftly locked from within. A forceful knock resounded, shattering the morning's calm. The startled housekeeper rushed to the door, barely able to speak before an agent thrust a search warrant into view. "We're authorized to inspect immediately. No one leaves," the agent declared, his words striking like a thunderclap. The household staff stood frozen, bewildered by the unfolding chaos. Dolly Parton, a towering figure in music, why would the FBI target her? Word of the raid spread within minutes. Reporters, photographers, and news vans from across Nashville swarmed the area. Cameras aimed at the gates, but no one could get close. This ignited a flurry of wild theories. Was the FBI probing a money laundering scheme? Was Dolly Parton hiding something unimaginable? Or was this a colossal misunderstanding? Yet the reality proved far more unsettling. As the press scrambled, an anonymous source dropped a bombshell. They didn't find what they expected, but something no one dared to imagine. The statement unleashed a tidal wave of unease. What had the FBI discovered? Rumors surged. Some claimed a stash of classified documents had been unearthed in the mansion. Others insisted a secret room had been exposed, holding mysteries unknown to all. But what stunned the public most was Dolly Parton's response. Contrary to expectations of an immediate statement, Dolly remained utterly silent. No social media posts, no interviews, no explanations. This quiet only deepened the public's suspicion. A star of her stature, with over 50 years of an unblemished career, why was she now in the FBI's sights? During a concert in Detroit, Eminem suddenly stops singing and brings someone on stage. She's the woman who saved his life 5 years ago, and what they're about to do will make you cry. The crowd at Detroit's Ford Field was electric.
Okay, that was part 1. Part 2.
When they lifted the rug, a trap door emerged, leading to a concealed space below. No one in the household had ever mentioned this room. What did Dolly Parton know about it? The FBI promptly ordered it opened and descended inside. And what they found there would leave everyone speechless. The trapdoor beneath the thick rug wasn't easily noticeable. It lay dormant, a secret yet to be unveiled. But when the FBI agents' flashlights illuminated the metal seams hidden under polished wood, there was no doubt something was concealed beneath this opulent estate. The lead agent signaled his team. One member tried lifting the door, but it wouldn't budge. No handle, no lock, no hinges. It seemed crafted to evade discovery. An agent stepped back, scanning the room. His gaze landed on an oddity on the wall. A small wooden box, adorned with Southern American motifs, appearing as mere decoration. He approached and touched it, and the unthinkable happened. The trapdoor jolted. A sharp click sounded. Then the floor parted slowly, revealing a spiral staircase plunging into darkness. The air grew thick with tension. No one in the FBI team spoke. They exchanged wary glances before descending one by one. Below, time seemed absent. No dust, no cobwebs. This vault wasn't neglected. It was maintained. As flashlights swept the walls, the team held their breath. Towering filing cabinets stood stacked, meticulously locked. Aged wooden chests, sealed with iron clasps, lined the space. Old paintings, draped in black cloth, hid their secrets. At that moment, an agent pressed his earpiece, receiving a message from above. Dolly Parton is still in the mansion. She refuses to answer any questions. She wasn't shocked, panicked, or resistant. She simply stayed silent. Did she know this vault existed? If so, why, in over 50 years, had she never spoken of it? Or had she deliberately kept it under wraps? An agent approached a filing cabinet. Its lock was worn by time, but intact. "Open it," the commander ordered. A snap echoed as the lock was cut. The FBI uncovered something beyond anyone's wildest imagination.
Okay, that was part 2. This will be last intel, part 3.
No clue of its origin or destination. Just a weathered black envelope, its edges frayed by time. An agent lifted it, feeling its unusual heft and thickness. This wasn't typical paper. It resembled specially crafted parchment, as if made to endure forever. Why was it here? More importantly, why was it locked in a secure safe, buried beneath Dolly Parton's mansion? After a brief pause, an agent donned gloves and carefully unsealed it. Inside lay a sheaf of documents. The pages were yellowed, yet the writing remained sharp.
Hey, Chris,
the first line stopped the agents cold.
Tonight,
if you are reading this, it's already too late.
Tuesday.
What did this mean? Who wrote it? Too late for what? The agents turned the pages. These weren't unreleased songs or personal notes, but something entirely different, a record of truths about the music industry no one had ever known. Secret clauses in major music contracts, influential figures pulling strings behind the scenes, unreported incidents of chart manipulation. But that wasn't the most shocking part. On page 10, a list of names appeared. Legendary artists, powerful producers, individuals who'd shaped American music for decades. And at the bottom, a name that stunned every agent, Dolly Parton. How could Dolly's name appear in this document? With her image as a beloved, generous country queen, Dolly Parton had never been linked to major controversies. But this could change everything. The next page revealed something even harder to believe. Dolly might have held secrets about the music industry unknown to anyone else. Contracts with hidden terms, untold stories of artists abruptly leaving the spotlight, records of opaque financial dealings with America's biggest labels, but the most chilling hint. She wasn't just a bystander. A handwritten line, underlined in red. She knew, she always knew. What did Dolly know? And why keep this document beneath her home? Beneath the stack, the FBI found a small, neatly folded letter. Its front bore one word, confidential. Someone had penned this note, and it was placed here for a reason. An agent unfolded it. The opening line, under flashlight glow, sent a chill through them all. Dolly, if you're reading this, that means they haven't found it yet. Who were they? Found what? The letter went on. You were right to keep this hidden. If this ever gets out, it will change everything. The final words defied belief. Protect it at all costs. Protect what? Was it this document, or another secret the FBI hadn't uncovered? Everything found in the vault raised more questions than answers. Was Dolly Parton merely a keeper of secrets, or deeply entwined in what these pages detailed? What did the mysterious letter refer to? Was there more the FBI hadn't found? One thing was certain, it couldn't end here. When an agent's flashlight inadvertently swept a dark corner, they saw something that silenced them all. Another door. No one knew where it led. But one truth stood firm. The secrets didn't stop here. No one could have predicted the sheer magnitude of what the FBI uncovered in the secret vault beneath Dolly Parton's mansion. Once the black envelope and its contents were revealed, the FBI swiftly sealed all evidence and exited the estate in silence. No explanations, no press briefings. All the press and fans could witness were unmarked black vehicles slipping away, carrying something the world had never glimpsed. The questions multiplied without answers. Then a staggering breakthrough occurred inside the mansion.
So that was kind of interesting with Dolly Parton there. I wonder how many more they're going to get. Everybody, probably. Okie doke. I was going to wrap things up. Just want to save my energy, guys. So when we get to breaking news at any day, time of the day, night or day, just want to save my energy. Build this channel up. So God bless everybody. Love all. Please hit like, subscribe, and thanks, Ray. I don't know what happened to Starfire. So stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith, and enjoy the warm weather out while you can. Another day of intel, and we'll see you tomorrow.